Welcome. You are tuned into AM Love, the podcast. With me, your host, Asia Monet. Consider this your soul's wake-up call. So you get to the point that you want to change, that you
Well, first
want
you
to
have,
change.
first you have to know that's something that you want to actually do, right?
Right.
And how you get to that is a circle, like you keep going on, like, right? So you go, okay, like if every time I do this, like I'm getting the same result, and it's like over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do to come out of that? You know, and it just starts with really being honest. And I think the honest is the biggest thing, right? Being honest with yourself
Mm-hmm.
uh, first, because once you can be honest with yourself, then it starts kind of opening up for you where you start to understand things a little bit better, you know.
Right.
And I mean that's what happened with me. I had to start being honest with myself. I had to,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? I had to stop doing the same things that kept me in the same circle. You know what I mean? And that's for everything. That's what relationship, friends, the whole nine yards. So, even patterns, it's a pattern, right? So
Mm-hmm.
usually with a certain pattern, you're gonna get the same result. But if you switch that pattern up and you do something different, then you're gonna get it. It's gonna automatically be a different outcome because you're doing something different.
Right.
So that's what it really started for me. And then again, the honesty I think was really like the thing that really started changing a lot and just
Mm.
being real with myself. Yeah,
So like that concept of the truth will set you free.
pretty much. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I've definitely been channeling that part. And just to go
Right,
back to doing something different, it's often not the comfortable thing, right?
right,
It's outside of your comfort zone. That
right,
change.
right,
It's not a comfortable transition to
right,
to be different, to
right.
transform.
Transform, absolutely. It's far from comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But what people fail to realize is that sometimes being uncomfortable is kind of like the best thing. Because once you do comfortability, being comfortable is gonna keep you stagnant. It's gonna keep you in the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Being uncomfortable brings change or something different because you're uncomfortable with how it's making you feel. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
mm-hmm.
Yep. That's blessed. Mm-hmm.
Facts.
So I feel like the men are having problems for one, being truthful, like you said, with themselves
Mm-hmm.
about like, this is not working, right? Like, this is
Right.
not, it's not bringing me the results that I want. Like, I want to be closer to my wife or I want to be closer with my kids. But when I move from a heart posture that is blocked, it's not
Right.
being received as love. It's not attracting that which I want. They are having a big problem with that
Right.
because they think they
Mm.
can just move in a certain way and it's supposed to be received in a certain way. But because the
Right.
energy that they're moving in is not one of a heart center, but actually fear. Honestly, because
Absolutely.
right? Because let's be real, why is your heart blocked in the first place? It's
Right.
to protect you. It's because you're fearful, right? Of
Right.
vulnerability, of being hurt.
Right. It becomes into like a fight or flight kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it comes between a fight or flight. So either you're gonna fight for it to try to fight through that, or just run away from the situation. And a lot of times in relationships and people do that flight, they rather just leave it. They're like, nah, I'm out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Rather than actually like try to fight through that, and make it work.
No, you're right. And you know what ends up happening a lot of times? You run right into the same pattern with another
Yeah,
person.
absolutely, absolutely, 100%, 100%. Because sometimes people think that just because, like, you put all the time and energy into a relationship, you put all the time into a marriage, and then you like, it's not working out for whatever reason. Then you're like, you know what? Well, I'm gonna leave it, and I'm gonna deal with something else that. Sir, whoever says that's the better, or that's the best
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because all you're doing at that point is just putting yourself in a new situation,
Uh-huh.
with things that's gonna be new, and it's gonna wind up still being the same pattern.
Yes, because
It's not, you know
why?
what I'm saying?
Because why? Because you're really running from yourself.
Exactly.
You're really running from your work, right?
Yep.
Because, like, if you really look at it, you'll say from a different perspective. I'm not saying this is for everyone. This is how I approach things, right? I say to myself,
Mhm.
why am I experiencing this? Why have I attracted this into my existence? What is this teaching me?
Right.
Right. And so once you actually figure those things out and you heal those things, if you and the person are meant to be together, y'all still be together. Y'all still be rocking out. If not, the
100%.
lesson is learned. And it's like, thank you, on to the next level, right? On to the next now. Like that's literally how these cycles, these karmic cycles go. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes we have like soul contracts, learn something, to grow through something,
Right.
to heal something within ourselves, you know?
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And I think that's just what it really comes down to, marriages and relationships, man. But as far as men go, I just think that it really comes down to a fact of just really being true to yourself. Like that's where it really starts with. Once you start doing that, like, but that comes with work. That really comes with true work on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
To make that happen, you have to start there. And don't
Mm-hmm.
think it's going backwards just because it's like, okay, most people be like, oh, well, I can't start from scratch and work on myself. I'm already married and I've been married or I've been in this relationship for 10 years. Nah, that works and starts like whenever you decide to start making
Mm-hmm.
it work.
Mm-hmm.
If you started today, it start as soon as today. So, some people think it's over, they don't put too much into it, they ain't got time to do. Nah, trust me, it'll be better and it's healing for you. You start seeing things different
That's
for
so
sure.
important. That's so important. Yeah, because it starts as early as your awareness, right? As
Hmm.
soon as you became aware of it, when something comes to my consciousness or my awareness, I get excited because I'm like, well, now that it's in my consciousness, it's in my awareness, I can change it. It's the things that's not in our awareness that we are not aware of that we cannot even change. We can't even begin to change it because we don't see it.
Yep. Can't change something that you're not aware of. I tell you that.
Right. Right. And I also say you can't protect yourself from something that you're unaware of too. Like that's a big thing. Like, yeah, if you're unaware of like negativity or like attacks or something, anything, if you're unaware of it, you can't protect yourself neither because
Right.
you don't know, you don't perceive it. So that's such a big thing because I also feel like a lot of men that I've been working with, they're like unaware of the spiritual warfare. They're unaware. So once again, if you don't see it, if you don't perceive it, you can't protect yourself. Or they don't understand how to be protective in the spirit. There needs to be a shift in the perspective of what a masculine energy brings to a relationship, right? Because we were talking about the dynamic of a man is supposed to be the provider, the protector. Well, women these days, I could shoot a gun, I could buy a house, I could pay my bills. Like, so then what do I need you for? Real. According to society, right? And so not only do men need to heal their inner feminines, their relationship with feminine energy, women need to heal their relationship with their inner masculine. How we perceive what is the energy that's being brought to us. I gave an example that I gave you the other day about I felt like I was walking around with the light switch off and then it felt like the light switch was back on.
Yeah.
Prior, I was experiencing this darkness that was coming through because of the attacks, because of things you were connected to.
Right.
And I said, but when we reconnected, it's like you brought a more protective energy. You bringing a more healing energy.
Right.
And I know it's you because you haven't been and now you are and now it's here. So I know it's you. Right. And
Absolutely.
so we're talking about something that is happening in the energetic body, in the spiritual realm. Right. I For me, I value that. I recognize that as being part of your masculine nature that's coming in,
Right.
you know? And, as above, so below. Yes, you are like that in the spirit. It's going to manifest in the physical that way too, because it's in the spirit, it's in your energy. That's your energy. But I was like, there's a need to reassess what we value in these relationships. Like, does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making.
Yeah. It makes sense. I'm right there. Hmm. It do. Because at the end of the day, it's just like my thing is how I feel from my perspective of it is like I think we in a time where it don't matter how masculine or that woman tapping into her masculine energy that she is or whatever the case is. Let your man be a man. You know what I'm saying? Period. If you're in a relationship or marriage and he's not bringing that masculine energy as a man, where he's being a protector and provider, and you feel like that you have to, then that needs to be a conversation. But if he's the protector and provider and moving accordingly, there's no need for you to be like, well, I'm a protector and I'm a provider. What I need a man for? That's the problem right there.
So here it goes. That's a perfect point. Now, you can speak to this, right? I know you can speak to this. What about the men who are growing up absent of fathers, of father presence,
Yeah.
who haven't been taught, right? By example, how do you become that? Like, how do you
I think
operate in that energy?
me personally, I don't think it's a trait that a man would see. Now, if you have a father in your life and he could teach you that, then that's great. That's amazing. But I think that that's a part of nurturement that happens once a boy is born into this earth and he has a mother. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, even as young boys who have mothers, they're always going to be protective right away of their mother. Period. They're going to always be protective
Mhm.
of their mother. So automatically, it's already being instilled into a young boy because it's just something that happens. If a man is hollering or a man is saying something or being too aggressive with his mother, you're going to see that young boy buck up and be like, whoa, like, this is my mother.
That's true.
That's going to
I never
happen.
thought about that. That's true.
Yeah, that's going to happen regardless. Now, if you have a man in your life that's a father, he's teaching his son on how to be a protector and a provider. Yeah, that's great. But I think that happens naturally. The boy, you know what I'm saying, coming up and definitely having a mother. And I think it's more when it's a single mom that's involved because he feel like that at that point, he is the man of the house. He's the one that got to grow up taking that garbage out at 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? He got to be the one doing all of that. So, yeah. But I
That's
think
so
it gets a little,
interesting.
I think it gets a little, when a woman is like, I don't need a man, I don't need a man, I don't need a man. And then at the same time, when they when they don't got one, or they like, you know what, all right, cool. Then it's another conversation of the topic, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, well, you gotta get that man a shot to be a man, sweetheart. You can't be so aggressive all the time. Let him be a man. There's some women back in the days, they would tell you when it came to certain things or finances or whatever, if the husband felt comfortable with it, they'd take over. They still allow that man to be a man. So that's why I make him leave a certain amount with me. Like, okay, babe, like, well, and then you take the rest of that, you do what you gotta do with that.
That's a whole other aspect, right? Because when we talk about being the man of the house, the man is supposed to be the head, right? He's supposed to be the leader. So I should be able to trust that you
That he
got
won't
that,
follow the bag.
that you're gonna make the right decisions for our household, for the family. I'm supposed to be able to, here it goes, lean into my femininity, knowing that the masculine, the man, is protecting and providing. I should not have to worry about that. I don't
No, but
want
you
to
got but
second.
listen. No. But you gotta listen to what you're saying. Protecting and providing. So what I'm saying to you is
Mhm.
he's going out and he's providing because he's working. When he
Okay.
makes the money, he just ain't good with
The management, you
the
saying? And
management of it.
that's more common. You know, this is a more common conversation that I hear from a lot of wives than not.
Yeah,
I do hear that,
yeah.
right? So you're saying be the support, because the women, the wife is supposed to be like the support. They say she's the neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like you're saying, okay, I went and I provided. I would I need you to manage. Like this the
Right, because
teamwork, I
he's
need you to
providing.
manage it.
Right, he's providing, but at the
Uh-huh.
same time too, he don't know how to manage that money. He don't know how to pay. So he's still providing. He's providing. He's providing, but at the same time, it's just he ain't the one that's managing because she's better at managing the money. You know
Gotcha.
what I'm saying? So
Gotcha. Maybe because the women know what's happening in the house, how the household is running.
right. But there's some men that can protect, provide, and manage. Like
And
they
yes,
can
there
do.
I was gonna say there
Yeah,
are.
and they
There
can
are.
manage the money. Yeah, they can be like, oh nah, like I got this for this, that for that, and they really run that. But it's
Yeah.
all about who you decide to deal with because
That's true.
I'm big on this overall thing. I'm really big on that. I go back to saying that relationships, everything is always going to be an overall aspect. You're never going to have 100% of a person, but the most you get out of someone is a 99. But with that 99 overall, there's going to be certain attributes that's going to be greater than others. It's going to be greater attributes. So you have to understand what you got, what
Mm.
that attribute is.
Mm-hmm.
Is there room to grow into that attribute to make it better? Because there's like, what I'm saying, some you might have financial, you might be a 99, but then they might be like a liar, which is like, a 25 attribute. But is it in the attribute where it can grow to make it more? There's some that you have to work on that area
Mm-hmm.
to make it go up to like 50 or 60 or 65 or whatever the case is. Those are those type of things that you got to do. You know what I'm saying? So I always break that down to that. And I would stand strong by it. And once people understand that, they take that analogy and can understand what I'm saying, they'd be like, oh no, it really is like that. So that's why I tell people all the time,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you want to deal with somebody else? That's on you because now you have to figure out what they would bring to the table, meaning their whole attribute, their whole overall. And when I say overall, like, everybody plays in the NBA. They all great players, but everybody ain't LeBron James.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And everybody plays in the NBA. These are great players. They all play for the same league, but everybody ain't on LeBron. Everybody ain't on Kobe. Everybody ain't on Michael Jordan. There's only one of those. There's only one. So it's like, and you got to understand that. So once you understand that you're dealing with people or you're in a relationship with people, and it's just like you have to see what you got and how can you make that better and make that work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Once you figure that out and you see how that goes, then you'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree. And what people don't know, even with the LeBron and whoever else, special things come with them. That's unique to them, right? That people, they look at something and they say, "Oh, I want that. I want that." And don't even understand. You can't even carry what comes with that person.
Exactly. Exactly. See, people say, for instance, right? They go, "I love Stephen Curry," but if you go to his attribute, he's a 3-point phenomenon, right? But then
Mhm.
in other places that he's just not that great at. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? He's not dominating the paint. Yeah, he's great in one area. So you
Mhm.
gotta understand some of these women they go get that man, and that man to be great in one area, and maybe that's enough for them maybe
Mhm.
that's something that's enough for them to be like, you know what? Oh, I'm good. I'm gonna stick with this. Oh, he got his 3-pointers, then that's it. I'm just gonna rock out the 3-pointers. And they might not even look away to LeBron, who could do maybe he could shoot a couple threes. He's good at taking in the paint. He dominates this. He could do that. Some people don't probably want that. They're probably like, nah, I'm gonna just keep my 3-point shooter.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Yeah. So it's real. It's real.
I'm asking one last question.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, what would be your advice to a woman who wants her man to want to change? What would be your advice? What should she do? Like, what would you say to her?
Well, first thing I would say to her is that a woman can't make her man change. He would have to want to change. That's where it really starts with. Like
Oh, okay.
he has to want to change. And if that's
Mhm.
to say, if you in a marriage, this is a, to death do you part marriage. This is why you got married. So give it a chance. Give it
Okay,
time.
say they have given many chances. Say there has been counseling. I'm asking for the last attempt. What would your advice be?
My advice would still be, again, is it is marriage. It's marriage for a reason.
Mm.
Got to be in it for the long haul. So, if he doesn't want to change and you had that conversation with him where he does not want to change, then maybe you should step back.
Mhm.
Maybe not so much a divorce it, but maybe do a separation. Maybe
Mm.
separate for a little bit. Give
Mm.
yourself some time to see things out. Like, give some space.
I love that. I love that
Mm-hmm.
because the reason why I'm like I love that because okay, you and I had space.
Yeah.
What did you learn on our space
Yeah. And I
on our time apart?
but that's what I'm saying. That's what happened.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
the space, the time comes with reflecting. The time comes with seeing certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You start seeing things differently. And with that, sometimes even the appreciation factor gets downplayed. So it's like, and you have to the best thing you can do for healing is sometimes you have to allow that space and let it go just to see sometimes like what it was and what did y'all both mean to one another.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't and they don't see it, then it's like, well, listen, I can't force you to, and clearly I can't force you to change or do nothing. So maybe that space is going to be very healthy and
Mhm.
needed. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And needed to understand exactly what's being lost at that point. You
That's
know?
so wow. Like what I think happens, and on both ends. I think when people are so immersed in each other's energy that you don't realize where you begin and you end and where I began and I end, right? Because we're like merged. Our energies are merged. But when you
Mhm.
separate, then you're like, oh, wait, that was him or that was her energy or this is what she was bringing to my life. Like I see it now because she's gone. So now I can identify what it is. Like what
Mhm.
now you can really know for real. Like maybe when you're all, in each other energy, you don't really realize. But then if you separate, then you realize.
Exactly. 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 You really realize. Yep.
Yeah. Because I also have been saying the work was being done in the separation,
Mhm.
right? Like there were things that needed to be adjusted in both of us.
Right.
I'm not saying it was just you and both of us, or realizations that needed to be had, or growth, self growth that needed to happen. It's like once again, when you're comfortable, there's no need to grow.
Yep. That's a fact. Absolutely.